There's a scene in Toy Story that's haunted me for years. Buzz Lightyear discovers that he isn't a space ranger after all. He learns it from a television commercial. Rows of identical Buzzes on a shelf beaming plastic smiles. And in that instant, his whole world collapses. He tries to fly, of course, and he falls. The song that follows isn't just about a toy. It's about that hollow moment when illusion cracks and the air rushes out of what you thought was true. For those too adult, or maybe too guarded, to watch Pixar films, there's always The Matrix. Neo wakes up to find his life was an elaborate simulation, his memories fabricated, his self manufactured. Two stories, two worlds, but the same quiet terror underneath. How do we really know what's real? We throw that word around, reality, as if it's solid, measurable, universally agreed upon. But what if it's just the most consistent dream we've all chosen to share? Our senses are translators, not truth tellers. The eye doesn't reveal reality, it decodes light. The ear doesn't deliver facts, it interprets vibration. Everything we call real is filtered through perception, and perception is personal. So when someone says, "I know what's real," part of me wants to ask, whose wiring are you trusting? Christopher Nolan's Inception dances on this question. In dreams, walls feel firm, pain feels sharp, love feels sincere. Only later do we wake and realize that the logic never added up. But what if this, right now, this breath, this conversation, is just another layer of the same kind of dream? Maybe the only truthful way to end any sentence about reality is to whisper, "For now." When I was younger, I used to categorize people neatly. Believer, atheist, agnostic. A believer sees God. An atheist sees the absence of one. An agnostic says, "I don't know." That last category used to bother me. "I don't know" felt like a shield, a safe fence that demanded no courage. It seemed braver to pick a side, even if you turned out wrong, than to sit in the fog of uncertainty. At least a stand gave you shape, but age does something strange. It loosens the lines. I've met monks who became skeptics, and skeptics who found prayer again. And I realized what moves me isn't where they end up. It's that they keep moving. They evolve their beliefs as they evolve their lives. They admit, what I believed then made sense for who I was then. Isn't that a kind of truth too? Maybe conviction and curiosity aren't opposites after all. Maybe the stand we take is meant to shift, to tilt with new light, to breathe. It's easy to admire those who stay certain forever, but is certainty the same as wisdom? Sometimes it feels like still water, clear, but lifeless. Maybe it's the questions that keep us alive. At the end of it all, maybe it comes down to curiosity, honesty, and compassion. If our choices don't harm another soul, isn't that already enough? Perhaps that's the only compass worth trusting. Or maybe even that is another illusion we outgrow someday. Everything else, belief, logic, scripture, might just be commentary, footnotes, poetry. A few weeks ago, I heard something that refused to leave my mind. It went like this. Suppose you were God, Suppose you have all time, all eternity, and all power at your disposal. What would you do? I believe you would say to yourself after a while, "Man, get lost." It's like asking another question, which is supposing you were given the power to dream any dream you wanted to dream every night. Naturally, you could dream any span of time. You could dream 75 years of time in one night, 100 years of time in one night, 1,000 years of time in one night. And it could be anything you want. You make up your mind before you went to sleep. Tonight, I'm going to dream of so-and-so. Well, naturally, you would start out by fulfilling all your wishes. You would have all the pleasures you could imagine, the most marvelous meals, the most entrancing love affairs, the most romantic journeys. You could listen to music such as no mortal has heard, and see landscapes beyond our wildest dreams. And for several nights, or maybe for a whole month of nights, you would go on that way, having a wonderful time. But then after a while, you'll begin to think, well, I've seen quite a bit. Let's spice it up. Let's have a little adventure. And therefore you would dream of yourself being threatened by all sorts of dangers. You would rescue princesses from dragons. You would perhaps engage in notable battles. You would be a hero. And then as time went on, you would dare yourself to do more and more outrageous things. And at some point in the game, you would say, "Tonight, I'm going to dream in such a way that I don't know that I'm dreaming." So that you would take the experience of the dream for complete reality. And what a shock when you woke up. You would really scare yourself. And then on successive nights, you might get yourself to experience the most extraordinary things, just for the contrast when you woke up. You could, for example, dream yourself in situations of extreme poverty, disease, agony. You could work on the vibration of suffering, and then suddenly wake up and find it was, after all, nothing but a dream, and everything was perfectly okay. Well, how do you know that's not what you're doing already? Every time I revisit that passage, something inside me loosens. It makes the mess of life feel intentional somehow. Maybe the point isn't to wake up from the dream, but to remember that we chose it. To taste both wonder and pain, knowing they shape each other. Maybe all of this, the searching, the questioning, the loving, the losing, is the divine game playing itself through us. Or maybe it's just neurons firing meaning into chaos. Who can really say? If this is a dream, it's a tender one. And if it's real, it's no less strange. Either way, I'm grateful that you and I get to share this brief moment inside it. At least, for now.